Beyond the crumbling facade of the old chapel, the air clung to Sarah like a clammy dampness, each breath carrying a tension that felt too heavy to hold. She never intended to return to this forsaken place, buried deep in the dense forests that knotted the landscape into a tangle of branches and shadows. Her friends dared her, photographs of the chapel draped in what they claimed was an unholy mist, beckoning her deeper into its memories. Each step crunched underfoot, echoing into the stillness, an invocation she didn't understand, and yet felt all too profoundly. The inside was a cathedral of decay. Cryptic symbols marred the once pristine walls, now engulfed in mildew and time. Flecks of gold remained around the altar, contrasting sharply with the encroaching blackness. Even in the ghostly light, she could see the remnants of faded paintings, saints twisted in agony, draped in shadows. One figure bore an unsettling resemblance to her own. Spirit or specter, it seemed to watch her, its painted eyes glimmering with life in the dimness. She shivered, feeling an inexplicable pull toward it. As she delved deeper into the chapel's heart, a distant thumping sound began to pulse from somewhere unseen. A rhythmic sound, oddly human, yet not entirely of this world. It reverberated low, setting her teeth on edge, an alien heartbeat beneath the skin of the chapel. Talking to herself offered no comfort. Any assurance slipped away, replaced only by a budding sense of unease threading through her. "Abandon your fears, Sarah. It's just a building," she told herself. The thumping grew louder, mingled now with the faintest whispered incantations. A voice curling around her apprehensions like smoke. Could it be her imagination? She pressed her palm against the wall, its rough surface cold, grounding her. A flicker of light caught her eye, a lingering shimmer in the corner of the room. The second page of an ancient tome lay flapping. It had been lying there, twisted and torn like the very fabric of this place. Curiosity propelled her, but within her heart, a flutter of hesitance twisted tight. The thumping became more urgent, a countdown. Every few beats, a doppelganger of the pulse in her own chest surged forward. Suddenly, shadows flickered along the walls, shapes not merely formed by the collapse of the chapel, but movements of something alive, unsettling, something that knew she was there. What had started as a harmless adventure morphed into something alien and sinister. As she turned, brushing against the altar, her reflection in a cracked mirror caught her attention. There she stood, yet not entirely. Behind her in the glass loomed an entity shadow-cloaked, a tangled laugh resonating in echoes of a choir she never knew. Heart racing, she spun around. The chapel betrayed her. No one was there. Only thick silence enveloped her. Desperation clawed at her mind as whispers began to swell, crashing against her consciousness. "You're not meant to be here." The very walls seemed to conspire, folding in on her as the shadows reached long fingers, warping the space around her. She forced herself to breathe deeply, to push through the rising tide that threatened to drown her. But the whispers persisted, threading into her thoughts with promises and threats. They spoke of rites and cycles, of initiations bound with ancient blood, of sacrifices made and lives entangled with the remnants of a wicked tale centuries old. She staggered back, her pulse an erratic metronome, as she caught a glimpse of her own reflection swimming in the fractured glass. The doppelganger grinned maniacally. Had it taken on her essence? Its laughter melded with the thumping sound, a cacophony of heartbeat and reverberation. The air shifted, a portal flickered into being, a malicious horizon swaying behind the mirror, beckoning with elegance, yet it felt hungry. Cold dread gripped her. Who or what was it? She could hear the thumping again, louder, closer, a countdown. A sense of time unraveling compelled her toward fate, each tick a pulse of panic. Then she noticed it, written in the dust. Numbers, 1, 2, and 3, cumulatively brushing against her peripheral awareness. Each number exuding strength, like rituals banking on thresholds of fear. 1 was the doorway, 2 the crossing, 3 the awakening. A ripple of understanding sparked, but it was quickly engulfed. She couldn't grasp what these numbers connected to. With each thud, the abandoned chapel trembled, as though challenging her to understand. As she stepped back, another echo reverberated with the thumping sound, distinct yet displacing. The light flickered, and the mirror twisted. Behind her, shadows of faces emerged, all mimicking her expression, eyes ablaze with dread. It was no longer simply a reflection. What stared back wasn't just her form, but the tarnished essence of trust and hope rotting at her feet. Each heartbeat grew more frantic, a clamoring chorus achingly seductive, pulling tighter at the seams of reality. Time felt elusive, unmoored, and as she desperately searched through spiraling thoughts, a scream erupted from her own doppelganger, reverberating in impossible harmony. She stumbled, and something within reached out. A whisper melded with the numbers and the beating, descending deeper into something grotesque. What if she had been trapped all along? What if this had been a drawing of sacrifice? Just as the entity breached the realm between the living and the dead, the facade gave way, tearing, rending space apart as she felt herself collapsing into viscous strands of darkness, drowning in echoes. In her final moments of awareness, her own heartbeat thickened, synchronizing with the relentless pulse of the chapel, an eternal hum reverberating in time. As the shadows converged, devouring all light, everything amplified at once: the numbers, the sound, the ghastly weight of acceptance. And she disappeared into the abyss, swallowed by the enigma she could never own. Amidst the distortion, echoing laughter remained, a haunting reminder drifting through the